Welcome to Dead by Daylight Bootcamp, where every Friday on Twitch you hop into a voice chat with myself, and you play against the community to practice the things that are too stressful to practice out in public matches. Today we're looking at a player who is playing Huntress, but is trying to learn the basics of Killer and ease themselves back into that role after playing primarily Survivor. Are you making these basic mistakes in your chases?
Hello.
Yes, there's the voice.
So I have about 1,500 hours in DVD, and almost all of it's on the Survivor side. So I feel like on the odd occasion I do play Killer. I'm just like going off that experience, and so it's just sort of general gameplay stuff. I usually just play Huntress when I play Killer because, you know, there's always practicing hatches to fall back on if the game's not going the way you want it to. So
Yeah, no, that makes sense. We haven't really been able.
I'm never entirely sure if the center gen is actually part of a 3-gen or if there even is a 3-gen on this map necessarily. I feel like it's...
Yeah, that's a good call out. I mean, you always want to try to keep it as long as you can, but yeah, it's hard because of how it's set up. Good first chase here. Okay. Good first M1. I would say, just as a small, maybe helpful thing, I feel like your camera's angled very down. And so it feels like you're tracking scratch marks exclusively instead of tracking like moving body and scratch marks. You know what I mean? Good call there. Ooh.
Okay. That was a good dead hard.
Yeah, that was a perfect E. Really good stuff.
We're supposed to vault that or not really there.
So the one call out I would automatically make for Zyvon here that we'll talk about after the fact.
They would go to Shack there, but
is overplaying a palette that you shouldn't
going this way, I guess.
necessarily overplay.
Yeah, this gen being worked on. Maybe I've spent enough time chasing that person. I'm never really sure if you should
That's fair.
How much you want to stick there. No my big gaming. Anticipated a dodge that didn't happen there.
Okay, good. He's really talking things out. Good stuff. So that's one gen gone. Probably a second gen that'll leave. Maybe turned out towards a flashlight.
No, okay.
Ooh.
Didn't really think of that. Should have.
Yeah, you knew what you did. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
it happens.
Could have faced the wall there.
So you do have pop. It may be good to go right back to that middle gen and reload up there after you get that pop value.
True.
Let's see if they paid attention to who was doing what. Good dude. Yep, it's not quite there. Good job. Alright, so good chase on Yoon here.
Yeah, overthrew.
Yeah, hell of a hatchet. Okay, this is the once injured. So there's two people back here. Ah, there we go, okay. Good power on their part. Yeah. Brutal, good break.
Sort of anticipated faking that pallet.
That was a really fast
Which is
cleanse.
that thing of me just assuming everybody's going to do what I do as a survivor. That's too late.
Good call out there. Good first hatchet of the match. And little high. Really on point though.
High?
Oof. Really tough. Now, I would reload before pickup. I typically do this as trickster and stuff like that. It can fool flashlight users into getting in position, but also like if you have barbecue or anything like that to get value off of, then you can get value instead of running to the locker after the pickup or the hook. So more of a preference thing, but in this case you'd waste time going back to the locker, you know what I mean? They definitely finished.
Yeah.
It's okay, the gen pressure may be more significant. Based on where your old Oblivious plaything was, they're definitely on the gen to your left. or the well, it's now behind you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, they cleansed out Plaything, and so they probably went right to the totem, or right to the gen next to the totem. So.
Yeah, it's a sort of a good example though of like. There's only 2 gens left, and all I did was chase 2 people.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, the best thing you can do, and that's why 3 gens are really, really difficult. This map is not as easy as it's made out to be. So, yeah, she ran to the right there.
Here. Yeah.
Flick.
Should aim slightly higher there.
She might fake it. Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, it's always going to be late unless you have the add-ons.
The best thing I would suggest for her is closing the distance a little bit. I mean, depending, I don't know. It's always a judgment call of is this survivor going to be capable of getting behind an obstacle before I can pull back and release, you know?
Right.
So like here is like bad hatchet territory because there's no world where it would. But then if you do pull one back, maybe holding it, getting them to, you know, flail or stuff that I'm sure Huntresses have done against you plenty of times.
Yeah.
Good double back. You can hit over
ran
that
out of
rock,
mouse space.
but it might be a bit sticky.
Yeah,
That was a close idea. Yeah, I was right there.
Skill shot. Just gonna find some hatchets at this point.
Yep. It's okay. And we know where they are in terms of gens. Pressuring that maybe.
Yeah. Hear that one being worked on over there. It has some progress. Kick it anyway for the sake of it. Is there anybody hiding over here?
Definitely. No Mither Iron Will sounds like. Or no, I guess no Mither makes them silent. So just which sucks because you don't get the pop value unless Nancy taps. Ooh.
Oh, interesting sabo.
Unless they have breakout. Nice. Good job knowing where your hooks were. Is not panicking or not, you know, not careful. They may speed on hook. Yeah.
On that side, okay.
Good call out. Good job holding.
Nah, that was a bad throw.
The idea was really solid. That's just more of a mechanical. Someone's on that gen. You want to go pop it? Yep.
Wow.
Because
you heard the tick.
Yeah. You just I knew that gen had more progress on it than when you arrived here. You just hear that based on how annoying the gen really sounds. That was really close.
Gotta throw down sometimes too much.
That was really... Check that gen to see if it's sparking. That's too late now.
See from there.
Yeah, too late now. If someone's playing cheeky,
They'll
have
tapped it.
Oh, did you see the Yunjin? She's in the bush behind you.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, like down there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
She's just crouched waiting for you to leave so she can get the gen. Ooh, Z-Wall Legends. Nice. Check that gen before you pick up. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Tactical slug. This is a good moment where you lose your final gen just by trying to hook, but by having her down, you might get a little bit more pressured. You know, you need people to group up. That was a good idea. You can't keep her away forever, so it's really tough, but yeah.
No.
You're
actually find this person.
She was against the wall to your right.
Or my
sorry,
right.
Further down this way. Different Z-wall. There you go.
How did you even know that? You just remembered which wall it was?
Well, I remembered she was near the Z-wall, near the pagoda. She wasn't that close to the gen, you know?
Sabo again?
Yeah. Good swing. I mean, you still have time, I think.
Yeah, with Iron Grasp.
OP, OP. And then you get some pop value. And we know someone's going to greet that unhook. Just by, I would assume, people swarming, so. Oh, they didn't. They are working on a second gen. But you've got a lot of pop value, so that's good. I think the team's slowing down just to give you a little bit more time. Ooh, Claudette shooting out of the gen.
Okay.
That was good. There you go. Good job holding that. Oh, that was good. There you go. Take that one home. Nancy, you just got off the hook. What are you doing?
It's worth a try.
That center gen over there might be getting worked on, so that's my priority. Because it's so far away that people might feel it's safer to work on, you know?
Yeah, I know. They could have just gone out to that one. I haven't killed anyone, so in a real game, they would have just gone out to that other gen and finished it like 10 years ago.
For sure, yeah. This is a difficult map because the 3 gen is in a line. It's never a cluster. So it requires some expert, disgusting plays typically against good teams.
Hit the wrong button there.
It was a, it was a test shot. No, don't worry about it. Good job. So, yeah, check your corner gen, because I guarantee you in gen's farting around. Yep. Ooh. The fast vault fakeroonie.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. Those are a tough call to figure out best practice on like how to get that to work. It's a good shot. That was wild looking at first.
That was the gen.
Ooh,
nice duck.
Your aim was good though. Alright.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly what I would have done in that situation.
Well played, Yoon. Okay, well, until there. You have been instantly kicking pallets the entire game, so just the small amount of conditioning, them thinking, oh, you're just going to kick it, instead of actually paying attention to what you're doing. A lesson for everybody, really. Yeah, Nancy's, like, in the bush.
Yeah.
The adrenaline. Not a bad idea. Good idea holding it there. Really make her cautious.
Oh yeah, windows on that side, isn't it?
Let's see if she makes it back to the door though. Oh, she's not going for door. So they may not have
okay.
primed. Interesting. No balanced.
No, that was gonna always go up. Oh, hi.
No E on that one. And then Yoon might try to sabo. So. Now, typically, I would say you'd want to hook further from the door, not closer to the door. Because if they do get an unhooked, borrow time is going to give them so much area to get out. So,
yeah.
Someone's on the door, so yeah, you want to be mindful of that. Because at this point in the match, it's a camp game. So
can't throw through
they
this
went to the
bamboo.
right. Yeah, they're going for the unhook right now. They'll get it.
Yeah, can't get that angle.
Nice.
Oh, hi.
All right. But I think you did a good job kind of first off talking about like 3 gens and like trying to, you know, figure out what to defend. And I liked your deduction of like, I don't know if the middle gen even counts as a 3 gen. You always want to try to keep the middle gen, but like this map, good luck. So I think if we're talking about like just general like Huntress things, if you ever end up really close to a survivor like you did here, you would want to try to pull back a hatchet. Because you would probably be able to get that hatchet fired off before she could like round any of these corners. And then you would be in a better position to maybe follow up with an M1 or, you know, just stay on them or something like that. One thing I'll notice, and I think this just, you adjusted it later in the match, but when tracking scratches, you're looking down a lot. Which I notice a lot of killers, actually, especially newer killers that are hopping back into it or that are just new to killer, they look down. And what happens when they look down is they miss the subcontext of like, oh, this person ran up and they're running across this pagoda, or because they're just looking at only the scratches. They're tracking the trail instead of the person. The scratches are very helpful, but they shouldn't be the only identifier you're using, because if suddenly the scratches disappear and you didn't have any line of sight to the survivor, they're just in the ether gone. You'd like to have like half of the screen be ground and then the other half be, you know, you want to be trying to track the body, and the scratch marks would give you the info to kind of get there. The minute you see this setup of like this jungle gym is nasty, this pallet's down at a strong tile, that's the minute I'm breaking that pallet and then I'm leaving. So I would have, and this is something that I do, this may not be universal, but if this chase is taking too long, what I would do is get this strong pallet gone. She has to mend for 12 seconds. I'm going to go check a different gen. I'm going to go get in a different engagement. I'm going to go do something else. You got one good pallet out of it and she has to waste some time. Time to move on. I think if you stick here too long, that's when you see the 3 gens are gone before you can really get much done. And the only other thing I would say is mind gaming before you break pallets. It's kind of a weird small thing that I wouldn't typically stress about. But so this Claudette, she throws it and she goes to the right. What I would do if I were you is I would also pretend you're going to the right. So turn your red stain over, you know, act like you're walking that way, which will cause the Claudette back to go. If she's paying attention, she'll see you went that way and she'll go, no, oh, just kidding. I want to go this way. And this is the corner of the map, of course. And then you would moonwalk back, break the pallet, and she's in this position where now she just doesn't have as much distance on you. It's a small thing, but you know, it'll save you 2, 3, 4 seconds of chase time in a lot of cases. So just faking before the pallet breaks so that the survivor doubles back. Then you get the quick break, especially with Brutal. You might get a faster hit a lot quicker versus just straight up breaking it, and she's had all this time to make distance. And I would pay attention to 2 things. I would pay attention to gens and how much progress they generally have, and I would also pay attention to the noise that makes. Get really used to what 25% sounds like, what 50% sounds like, what 75% sounds like, because what you're going to have to do a lot is, as you're chasing a survivor literally like 10 meters away in a tile, there's going to be one person on that gen trying to rush it out. And if you're not like, oh my gosh, that gen sounds like it has more progress than it did before, what you're going to find happening is people are going to be doing gens under your nose. So that moment of like, you know, here in a little bit when I'm like, check that gen because I think somebody's trying to rush it out. Yeah, this was kind of the moment of like, hey, check that gen. You've been with Nancy for a moment, but I think somebody's sneaking under your nose here. So just, that's one of those things, like audio is really, really important for killer because you are first person. You can't just pan your camera and see things easily. You have to get used to really weird nuanced sounds. You have to get used to like hearing a survivor breathe behind a wall and you have to get used to like what a 90% gen sounds like versus a 40% gen. So that's the one thing. And you know, you as a survivor, you will get used to some of this as well as you play more killer. But if you were a survivor, would you be on that gen? Probably. You'd probably be doing that. So it's just about translating some of that stuff over too. But I think
no, I think everything that you said makes a lot of sense. Those would have been my questions, like that chase, like I guess breaking that strong pallet and leaving would have been better than trying to continue chasing. That's always the thing that like you're never quite sure as a killer, like do I, like, because getting it down and eventually getting someone out of the match is like important, but like that balance between, yeah, if 3 gens have gone by the time you've got that first down, then you're already lost. So it's trying to balance. That's always the hard part.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's the hardest thing of like new killers have a very specific problem of leaving chases too soon or always kicking generators, and thinking that keeps up pressure. And so it is a fine line between like you do need to commit because survivors are the best hook or the best game pressure you could conceive of, right? If you're constantly rotating people on hook, the gens are gonna be naturally slow versus having to constantly come back and kick them. But then it's like, okay, are you over chasing to make that happen? And at that point, then efficiency is maybe the problem. Is your chase efficiency good? So it is a fine line. And, I can't say that I don't think you consistently over chase or anything. And I'm going to be honest with you, you're playing Huntress, right? Like you're playing a killer that has like a lot of mechanical requirement to it, so your chases are going to be a little tougher. But if you picked up Wraith, I think your efficiency you would see in your chases might be better, or like Sadako. So that's also the tough part of like, well, you're trying to throw hatchets, that's mechanically cumbersome, it's very unique and difficult. So underneath all of that, I think for the general killer stuff is I think it'd be very different if you had a different killer. But